What if the pill you trusted carried someone else's fingerprint of death? A brother swallows relief, and an hour later, the sirens take his voice. Not Marcus, she whispers. He was careful. The room answers with doubt. But whispers don't survive when power decides the story for you. Stay with me until the very end, and don't forget to tap like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Because what follows puts power on trial. Marcus Hale, a 38-year-old contractor with a bad back, keeps his world small, job site, gym, quiet apartment. Pain flares after an overtime weekend. His sister, Tessa Quinn, leaves soup and caution only from the pharmacy. He nods. That night, a friend hands him a blue tablet stamped M30. Relief promised. The first injustice? It isn't what it seems. The paramedics find Marcus on the kitchen floor, phone still unlocked, timer app frozen at 60 minutes. Detective Cruz notes the single pill blister, the stamp, and the shallow breaths that never recovered. County Prosecutor Arlo Benton arrives early, calling it unfortunate abuse. The word sticks. Bias blooms. Tessa hears it, and it burns behind her ribs. Benton's office issues a brisk press note, suspected opioid misuse, no foul play. A neat conclusion, cheaper than a full tox panel. Tessa requests lab reanalysis, Benton refuses, resources have limits. Online comments drip blame. The landlord eyes her with pity shaped like judgment. The pill's promise becomes a verdict against the man who swallowed it. A city council panel quotes the press note, folds Marcus into statistics, and moves on. Benton smiles tight for the cameras. Detective Cruz is reassigned off the file, caseload balancing. Tessa walks out of the meeting with a photocopied pamphlet on addiction. She isn't asking for sainthood, only accuracy. The door closes softly, like a seal of truth. Tessa visits Dr. Malhotra, a methodical medical examiner with tired eyes that still notices everything. Malhotra studies photos of the tablet, wrong font, the A-shaped bevel looks sloppy. Street press, she murmurs. She opens a refrigerated drawer, pulls a sample. Tessa braces. And then, the lab printer stutters, chokes, and spits out a single word, fentanyl. Fentanyl wasn't on Benton's initial screen. Malhotra explains, quick panels miss analogs, full-spectrum tests cost more. Tessa hears the quiet indictment, of budget, of will. Detective Cruz, quietly looped in, meets them in a diner booth. He brings a photo series of seized pills. Some are perfect, others, a shade too sky. Doubt slips into the official story. Cruz introduces a pattern, overdoses linked to identical blue tablets within a 6-block radius, 2 weeks apart. Every victim bought M30s from different hands, but the Owlwing microimprint near the scoreline? Identical. It's a counterfeiter's artisan flaw. Tessa photographs it, sends it to a journalist she trusts. The machine grinds, but momentum tilts, finally, toward truth. Benton calls Cruz into his office and closes the blinds. Drop the hobby. The case is closed. Cruz returns with a reprimand for independent communications. Tessa receives a terse cease and desist email after posting the Owlwing clue. Meanwhile, in alleyways, blue tablets sell faster than warnings can travel. Grief, like the drug, is everywhere and unregulated. Tessa canvasses bodegas and smoke shops. At El Ferro Deli, a cashier, Reina Solis, remembers a quiet man in a denim jacket paying cash for a baggie of blues. He doesn't haggle, she says. He brings receipts, like actual pharmacy bags. Cruz pulls stills from street cams, denim jacket, same hour, same loop, the choreography of routine crime. Benton holds a podium, declares a public education push, and doubles down on personal responsibility. Reporters nod. He cites Marcus by initial, MH, as a cautionary tale. Tessa is there, heart thundering like a kicked door. She raises a photo of the owl wing imprint. The microphone's angled toward her. Benton's smile stiffens. He pivots to ongoing inquiries. Dr. Malhotra receives a late delivery, a nurse from a pain clinic turned in a stash of surrendered pills. Among them, an M30 with the same owl wing flaw. Chain of custody is clean. The clinic logs show a repackaging visit by a compliance contractor named Silas Ward. The very policy Benton touted to reduce abuse now exposes his neglect. Cruz runs Silas Ward, minor priors, shell companies, a storage unit near the river. Tessa, against advice, watches the unit from her car. Silas arrives at dusk with boxes. Inside, Cruz finds pill presses, dyes, blue dye, lactose, and a ledger coded in brands. Owl sketches litter a corkboard, arrogant as signatures. The air smells like sugar and manufacturing. The ledger ties drops to corner stores and barbacks, marked campaign. A second column lists initials, DL, GR, AB. Cruz exhales when he reaches the last, AB. Could be anyone, until he spots a burner text on Silas's phone, press harder. Optics matter. AB. Tessa photographs everything. Names lose their armor when evidence puts them under light. Benton launches a grandstanding task force against counterfeiters, claiming leadership. He places Cruz on administrative review for procedural breaches. Tessa receives a warning, anonymous, robotic, stop digging. Malhotra, cautious, duplicates every finding, 2 sets of files to 2 different safes. The truth is heavy, and it attracts gravity and enemies. Time, meanwhile, keeps selling blue. Reina Solis agrees to wear a wire. She arranges a purchase. Silas Ward shows with a new batch, teardrop blue. He boasts about upgrading the bevel. Reina, steady, asks, "What about the owl?" Silas chuckles, "My lucky mark." Cruz's team, skeleton crew and all, moves in. Silas runs, trips, drops a bag that ruptures like a bright, lethal cloud. In interrogation, Silas sneers until shown the ledger and the owl sketches. He folds to self-preservation, offering a pipeline, pill dye designs, counterfeit binders, fentanyl powder shipped vacuum-sealed through a freight broker. "I'm small," he says. There's a patron. He writes 3 initials, ABR. Cruz and Tessa trade a look. Benton's full name is Arlo Benton Rusk. A subpoenaed bank file shows Silas received consulting fees from a nonprofit run by Deirdre Lyle, Benton's longtime fundraiser. Transfers align with overdose spikes. A photograph surfaces, Benton and Silas at a gala, owl lapel pin winking under chandelier light. But one detail was always there, buried in plain sight, the owl. Everywhere Benton smiled. Cruz requests a warrant from Judge Harlow. Benton storms the courthouse hallway, red-faced, dismissing it as conspiracy. Dr. Malhotra arrives with sealed tox panels, 5 cases misclassified as oxycodone now retagged fentanyl counterfeit. Tessa lays Marcus's photo on the table between them. Voices rise, reverb off marble. Benton jabs a finger. Harlow, unimpressed, signs the order. Search teams hit Deirdre Lyle's nonprofit office. Behind framed mission statements, a safe holds owl-stamped dies, donor lists cross-referenced with community outreach drops, and messages to AB advising educational narrative. The freight broker's invoices connect to Silas's unit. Every arrow points inward, not outward. The wall of defense, The press releases, the scolding, starts to fracture audibly. Arlo Benton is brought in. He tries statesmanship, in crises, I act decisively. Cruz slides the gala photo across, the owl pin laughing. Malhotra sets down the reclassifications. Tessa reads the burner text aloud. Benton's knuckles pale. A recorder clicks. And then, every voice fell silent as the accountant opened the second ledger. The second ledger is worse: payouts, schedules, and a directive: push counterfeit narrative, personal responsibility, not supply chain. Benton's signature, full, unambiguous, repeats like a drum. Indictments follow: Benton, Deirdre Lyle, and Silas Ward. Press conferences invert. Tessa stands back, jaw set, as the man who named her brother a cautionary tale exits in cuffs. The camera flinches, truth doesn't. Marcus's death certificate is amended, cause fentanyl toxicity from counterfeit oxycodone. The county funds full-spectrum tox by default. Malhotra receives extra staff. Raina's statement is sealed for protection. Her deli's donations surge quietly. Cruz is reinstated, promoted for integrity. Tessa visits the apartment, collects the timer phone. She breathes. Not absolution, accuracy. Not revenge, responsibility. The shape of justice is precise. At dusk, Tessa places an owl pin on the courthouse steps, then crushes it beneath her heel. A cold wind lifts paper banners from a shuttered education nonprofit and carries them into the river. Lesson: in a war of narratives, count the bodies and follow the stamps. Counterfeits thrive on shortcuts. Truth demands receipts. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, subscribe to this channel and never miss the next case where truth prevails.